Hello, everyone. Welcome to Catherine's ESL classroom. In today's lesson, we are going to have a fun quiz on the fall. So why do they call it fall? I'll give you a hint. It's another name for autumn, and you'll see all the leaves changing from green to bright orange, red, and yellow because all the leaves fall down. That's right. So let's have some fun with the fun fall facts quiz. So does everyone know what facts mean? This word, F-A-C-T-S. Well, it's a fact when the cold weather comes after the summer, all the leaves that are green change colors because it becomes cooler. So it's a fact, it's the truth that the leaves change from green to red and orange and yellow. Okay, so let's talk to Alvin. Alvin says, "Hi, I am Alvin the squirrel. I have a challenge for you. What fun facts do you know about fall? Let's find out." Autumn or fall begins on this day. Autumnal equinox, September 1st, or spring equinox? Which one? That's right, autumnal equinox. The autumnal equinox is when the hours of daylight are the same length as the hours of darkness. So that means we have the same amount of daylight and the same amount of darkness. Okay, so let's just repeat the answer. Let's go over pronunciation. Autumnal equinox. Repeat with me. Autumnal equinox. One more time faster. Autumnal equinox. Yes. The autumnal equinox, or the first day of fall, occurs on this date: August 20th, September 22nd or 23rd, or July 4th. That's right. September 22nd or 23rd is the first day of fall. What is the first day of fall called again? Autumnal equinox. The autumnal equinox happens on September 22nd or 23rd in the northern hemisphere where we live. I live in New York. In the southern hemisphere, it happens on March 20th or 21st. Now remember, there's the northern hemisphere and then there's the southern hemisphere. So don't worry, we will learn a little bit more about this. Let's just go over pronunciation of the dates. When we say the date, the actual day of the week or the number of the week, we would say September, not 22 or 23. We would say September 22nd or September 23rd. Let's say this together. September 22nd or September 23rd. Each year, it is a different date. It can land on the 22nd or it can land on the 23rd. This year in 2023, which day was the first day of fall or autumnal equinox? Was it the 22nd or the 23rd? Write it down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. True or false? The temperature gets cooler as summer changes to winter everywhere. Now, remember I was telling you about the northern hemisphere? I'm in New York. I hope you're in New York too, but if you're not, you might be living in the southern hemisphere. What is this line in the middle of the earth? That's right, it's called the equator. So true or false? The temperature gets cooler as summer changes to winter everywhere. That's right, false. The temperature is not the same all over the world. In places closer to the equator, this red line, temperatures stay warm all year. In areas close to the poles, North Pole up here, South Pole down here, the temperature stays cold. Seasons are more common in areas between the equator and the poles. So we have the seasons. When we live in New York, okay, we're going to experience all the seasons. Now there are 4 seasons. Right now we're in the fall. What comes after the fall? That's right, winter. What's after the winter? Spring. What's after spring? Summer. So if you are, seasons are more common in the areas between the equator, this red line, and the poles. So we have North Pole, the equator, and the South Pole. Okay, good job. Why do birds migrate toward the equator? 1, they want to celebrate Halloween there. 2, it is cooler at the equator. 3, they want to get away from the cooler temperatures. Again, why do birds migrate toward the equator? That's right, they want to get away from the cooler temperatures. Now, who said they wanted to celebrate Halloween there? You're being silly. While birds fly to the equator to escape the cooler temperatures, some animals, like the squirrel, Alvin, store food for the winter. True or false? Plants stop making chlorophyll in the fall. Uh-oh, what does chlorophyll mean? Well, you're going to find out. So what do you think the answer is? True or false? Plants stop making chlorophyll in the fall. I'll give you a hint. Green. Stop making green in the fall. True. Chlorophyll is important because plants use it to make their own food from sunlight. This process is called photosynthesis. Summer sunlight tells leaves to make more chlorophyll, more green. As the days grow shorter, there is less sunlight. Fall. So let's just repeat some of these vocabulary words. Repeat after me. Chlorophyll. Chlorophyll. Good. Photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. Great. The color in leaves are from chemicals called pigments, sunlight, or chlorophyll. What do you know of this? Do we have a hint? The color in leaves are from chemicals called, think of your skin, color. That's right, pigments. Let's repeat, pigments. Think of your skin. What color is your pigment? Good job. That's what makes the color of your skin. There are 4 types of pigments in every leaf. 1, the green color pigments is chlorophyll. Chlorophyll. Good. The yellow one is called xanthophylls. Xanthophylls. So the X here is pronounced like a Z. Z, z. Xanthophylls. Good job. The orange pigment is called carotenoids. Carotenoids. So think of the carrots. We eat the carrot, right? It's orange. It's good for our eyes. We see rabbits eat them too. So that orange pigment, that orange color, is called carotenoids. Now the red pigment, the hardest one of all to pronounce. Well, it could be easy for you. Anthocyanins. Anthocyanins. I know, one more time. Anthocyanins. It's a tough one, right? Okay. 4 pigments of leaves in every leaf. Now we have 1 leaf and we have 2 leaves. You notice here? Leaves. Let's repeat. Leaves. Remember the S pronunciation. Want to sound like a snake. Tss. Leaves. Good. Remember, leaf. 1 leaf, 2 leaves, 3 leaves, 4 leaves. Good job. What plays an important role in the way that leaves change in the fall? Is it weather, birds, or squirrels? Weather, yes. Changes in weather can determine how early leaves change and how long they keep their bright colors, such as yellow, red, and orange. If there is not enough rain or it gets too cold too fast, leaves can fall off before they even get a chance to change colors. So in New York, do you think we're having a good fall? Do you think we got enough rain and it didn't get cold too fast? We had enough hot and enough cold? What do you think? Put it down in the comments. And if you live in the season of fall or autumn, did you get enough rain and enough sunlight and enough warm and cold so you had a beautiful bright autumn? Put it down in the comments. Let me know where you're from, what state or what country, and even what hemisphere. Remember, there are 2 hemispheres. Northern hemisphere, New York lives in northern hemisphere. Then we have southern hemisphere. Remember, it's below the equator on the globe. Pines, spruces, cedars, and firs are all trees with needles. What type of tree are they? Broad-leaved tree, evergreen, or Christmas? Do we have an answer? Evergreen. Evergreens are able to live winter because their foliage is made of wax-covered needles and scales. They can safely live in the coldest of winters and even in the Arctic. So think, go outside, and if you have an evergreen, such as a pine, a spruce, a cedar, and a fir, not the fur coats, but if you go outside and you see the green trees that look like Christmas trees, those have the really beautiful foliage, means it has all the wax-covered needles and scales. That's the foliage, okay? So when you see foliage on a tree, you might see wax-covered needles and scales, which are the evergreens. And then you have the broad-leaved trees, which have the big leaves. They are green in the spring and summer, and then in the fall, they start to fall off and change colors, okay? But do they change colors after they fall off or before? That's right, before. They change colors to the beautiful four pigments, and then they fall off as it gets colder. That's right. What happens to the leaves that fall? One, they become food for organisms in the forest. What are organisms? What do you think organisms are? So think of organic. When you go to the store, you have things that are organic, and then you have things that are not. Maybe they're GMO. So think of the earth, living, the soil. They decompose and give nutrients back to the soil, or all of the above. So what happens to the leaves that fall? That's right, all of the above. The entire forest ecosystem benefits from the leaves that fall in autumn. The leaves become part of the forest floor, the ground. They help the forest absorb like a sponge and hold the rain that falls. Okay, so what does ecosystem mean? So ecosystem comes from ecological. So the whole ecological system, the things that are in the forest, right? The environment of the forest. Okay, so let's go through this again. What happens to the leaves that fall? One, they become food for organisms, the living creatures in the forest. So anything living. And they decompose, they kind of shrivel up, okay? And they get smaller and they give nutrients back to the soil. That's right. If you have any questions on any of the vocabulary words, please write it down in the comments. We would love to give you those answers. Where is the best place to see colorful leaves in the fall? One, anywhere you can find broadleaf deciduous trees. Two, only in the mountains. Three, only in the countryside. What's the answer? I'm waiting. That's right. The best place to see colorful leaves in the fall is anywhere you can find a broadleaf deciduous tree. Okay, let's just repeat this. Broadleaf deciduous. That's right. Now, what is that? Well, you can see autumn colors in parks, cities, the countryside, or mountains. If there are deciduous trees, there will be some color in the fall. So take a peek outside, go look outside and see if you see a broad leaf, meaning a big leaf. Doesn't have to be this big, could be this big, and it'll start changing colors. Go outside, look on the ground, look on your trees. Wow, you know lots of facts about fall, do you? I'm glad that I could help you learn even more. I hope you will tell your friends about Miss Catherine and Alvin the squirrel about this beautiful season. Well, thank you again, everyone, and joining Miss Catherine's ESL classroom on Fun Fall Facts Quiz. How did you do? Well, I'd love to hear you, and until next time, bye.